Elizabeth became extremely angry after seeing Leping's 10th move. She thought to herself, "I'm so stupid for getting distracted just because I was worried about your safety." Determined not to show any mercy, she seized the opportunity and unleashed her most powerful move. Complete magic force, transforming into a cosmic being. She said to Leping, "Don't think you're so great at just this level. Whatever you can do, I can too." However, Leping responded unexpectedly by tossing the moon into the air and demonstrating the final stage of Tai Chi to Elizabeth. Focusing on cultivating the mind and meditation with the swordless move, the 11th move, Sword of Enlightenment, he explained. Tao creates one, one creates two, two creates three. After witnessing this, Elizabeth burst into laughter, mocking, "Swordless? What nonsense is this? A clone technique, right? Well, I'll entertain you then." With that, she used her apocalyptic magic demon queen to create 9 clones. Suddenly, many Elizabeth clones appeared in front of Leping, each as powerful as the original. Meanwhile, Leping prepared his next move, proclaiming, "3 lives give rise to all things merge into one." Elizabeth wondered if Leping was retreating. "It's too late," she declared, explaining that her sword was faster than the speed of light and questioning how he would dodge it. She and her 9 clones then attacked Leping. To her astonishment, Leping dodged the attack effortlessly. Upon closer inspection, Elizabeth realized that Leping hadn't moved. Instead, the space around him had expanded rapidly, widening the gap. Leping spoke to Elizabeth. "As you meditate and become one with nature, your mind will naturally open up." As he said this, a galaxy emerged within his body, transforming him into a part of the galaxy. Frustrated and angry, Elizabeth shouted, "You bastard! Do you think just because you surpassed my speed, I can't do anything to you?" She prepared her most powerful attack, claiming that as long as the target exists, her move could strike at super speed. "Open your eyes and see the most powerful strike of the demonic sword of destruction," she taunted as she launched her arrow of destruction towards Leping. Meanwhile, Leping completed his 12th move. 3 lives give rise to all. Suddenly, the galaxy that had emerged became massive, and as Elizabeth's powerful move, the arrow of destruction, approached, it was overwhelmed by the expanding galaxy and destroyed like fine dust. Elizabeth was shocked to see her most powerful strike, which she had been so proud of, annihilated. Everything then returned to normal, but Elizabeth remained in great shock, realizing that the swordsmanship she had gained through so much hard training had failed her. Leping explained to Elizabeth, "The mind wanders through time and space before finally returning to the beginning, where it finds peace." Hearing this, Elizabeth became even angrier. "Elizabeth," incredulous, exclaimed, "how could you be so unreasonable? You dare to lecture me in swordsmanship? You want to humiliate me?" However, she calmed herself down and said, "That's fine. As you said, after seeing the vastness of the universe, I am calm. How about I forget the past, let go of my pride, set aside the swordsmanship I have learned, and accept your guidance?" Leping asked her to put aside her magic and even her life, regardless of the cost or the consequences, and to pour her everything into the swords will beyond space, beyond time. "This is my own beyond space, beyond time," he explained, referring to his swordless move. Elizabeth realized that within time and space, no matter how strong her moves were, they were no match for the power of Leping's rules. So, to defeat him, she needed to surpass both time and space. She thanked Leping for his guidance. Despite knowing that using this move might cost her everything and possibly lead to her fall from grace, she was undeterred because, for her, there was no meaning in living after defeating Leping. This is a fitting end, she thought. However, she made Leping remember that the person who ultimately defeated him was Elizabeth, the Demon Queen. After declaring this, she charged towards Leping to attack. However, Leping prepared his final move, the 13th move, One is All, and caught Elizabeth's powerful move with just 2 fingers. Elizabeth was stunned, wondering how it was possible for him to stop her attack with just 2 fingers. While she pondered this, Leping pulled her towards him. Elizabeth, blushing and uncertain of his intentions, found herself suddenly in his arms. Everything returned to normal, and Elizabeth achieved an advanced breakthrough. becoming a 7-star demon lord. Leping then asked her what she thought of his swordsmanship and whether she believed he was capable of it. Confused and unsure, Elizabeth wondered what he meant. Leping clarified that he was referring to his mastery of swordsmanship. Leping mentioned, although they are just simple moves, every time I perform them, I feel like I'm getting better. What do you think? However, Elizabeth didn't know what to say and continued to stare intently at Leping. Leping asked Elizabeth if there was anything he needed to improve on. Seeing her like this, he thought to himself that Elizabeth looked quite cute at that moment. But Elizabeth remained silent, still staring at him. Leping felt embarrassed and asked, "You're staring at me like that. Is something wrong?" He quickly composed himself, thinking, "No, don't overthink it. I can't offend her. I still need her protection." When Elizabeth realized the awkwardness of the situation, she asked Leping to let her go. Both of them felt really embarrassed, and the atmosphere grew awkward for no apparent reason. Leping knew he had to say something to break the tension. He said to Elizabeth, "The effect is amazing again. It's definitely a result of your hard work. Even though my eyes were closed, I could still vaguely feel your guidance. Although the 13 moves come and go, this time my understanding of nature is much deeper, as if it surpasses time and space. It's definitely from your guidance, Elizabeth." Meanwhile, Elizabeth thought to herself, "This guy, Leping, he knew I had hit a bottleneck in my cultivation recently, so he used the concept of swordsmanship to help me break through. First, he made me expand my senses, then pushed me to a desperate situation. Then he defeated my sword, which I had sacrificed everything for. And finally, he turned the clock back to before the beginning, allowing me to break through 3 times without paying a price. Is this Tai Chi? The indescribable and mysterious art. I was really naive. When I reached the demon god realm, I thought I could catch up to you. You handle it so easily. But you neither want to fight for fun nor conduct an experiment that could destroy the world. You just keep helping me get stronger. I wonder, what is Leping's purpose? Then it hits me there's only one possibility, the same one I considered before. She thought that Leping wants to have the strongest son with her, a son who will transcend the planes, but he is worried that she's too weak now to bear his child. So she tell Leping to stop looking down on people. Leping looks confused and asks what she mean. But Elizabeth thought that it seems like every time he deliberately holds back for her sake. He wants it, but he's afraid to hurt her. In her imagination, she thought that in Leping's eyes, she's still really weak and need more training. But she say, forget about that. Then she tell Leping that she can promise him that she'll do anything he wants, but he has to tell her what it is he wants. Leping is still confused, wondering what she asking him to confess. She wants to ask him if he really likes her. But before she can gather the courage to ask, something unexpected happens. Suddenly, something falls to the ground. Leping and Elizabeth are both startled, wondering what just happened. It's our favorite character, the overpowered robot dog, Wang Kai. He brings the Sword Saint to Leping so he can help her. After seeing this, Leping approached Wang Kai and asked, "Are you back after picking up another injured person?" Upon closer inspection of the Sword Saint, Leping realized that her injuries were serious and she required urgent care. He praised Wang Kai, saying, "You did a good job bringing her here." Wang Kai was overjoyed after being praised by his master. However, he suddenly sensed a violent aura approaching him. He was shocked to see that the violent aura came from Elizabeth, who was very angry with Wang Kai. She scolded him. "You smelly dog, are you picking up people and bringing them here again? It looks like you don't remember what I said, do you?" Wang Kai was terrified and trembled with fear. Meanwhile, Holy Sword Alpha, after escaping from Leping's house and flying for 30 kilometers, realized that he had only just awakened and the situation was already beyond his comprehension. The hero had gone against the script, started living with the Demon Queen, and had developed an inappropriate relationship with her. Confused and overwhelmed, he wondered how everything created by Leping could exert such pressure, capable of crushing him, despite him being the king of all weapons. At Leping's home, he felt akin to scrap metal. Terrified, he reverted to his original form. Holy Sword Alpha thought about his purpose, which was to help the hero defeat the Demon Queen. But now everything had changed. He questioned his own existence, wondering, am I only worthy of being used to cut wood? Who created me? It's not fair. Why wasn't I forged by Leping instead? If the hero doesn't defeat the Demon Queen, what should I do? However, he controlled himself, saying, this won't change anything. Now that I've already come here, I have to rediscover the meaning of my existence and regain my confidence. But as he turned to leave, he suddenly heard a voice from behind him asking for help. Holy Sword Alpha became alert and asked, who is it? It was Demon Burial, a demon asking for help after being defeated by Wang Kai. Holy Sword Alpha, unaware that she was a demon, wondered, what is a weapon spirit doing here? He asked Demon Burial what had happened to her real body, explaining that without it, she would soon vanish. She replied that her body was ruined by a bad guy and asked Holy Sword Alpha if he could help her find a new one, saying, I really need your help. After hearing this, Holy Sword Alpha felt embarrassed, thinking, such a pretty weapon spirit, and she needs me. Demon Burial urged Holy Sword Alpha to hurry, as she wouldn't last long. Confused, Holy Sword Alpha asked what he should do, knowing he wouldn't be able to find her a body quickly. Demon Burial explained that there was another way and asked Holy Sword Alpha if she could temporarily enter his body. After hearing this, Holy Sword Alpha asked, you want to enter my body? Indeed, my magic power can sustain you for a while longer. Seeing his reaction, Demon Burial thought her plan was going to succeed. However, suddenly Holy Sword Alpha started laughing, surprising Demon Burial, who wondered if he had realized her plan. Holy Sword Alpha said to Demon Burial, you think I don't know what you're thinking? Demon Burial, feeling angry yet weak, thought, even though I'm weak right now, I have to try. There is still a chance of winning against a little guy like you. But suddenly, Holy Sword Alpha said to Demon Burial, you see, I'm someone extraordinary, so you want to take advantage of me, right? I won't hide it from you. I'm the legendary Holy Sword Alpha. However, he knew that after leaving those two, he was needed immediately. The world is vast, but he is still the king of all weapons. So he said, it's a possibility. I can let you do it, but only if it's you. If it were someone else, I would refuse. Demon Burial, upon hearing this, thought to herself, he seems to be a fool. Whatever, let's make do with that for now. I will get rid of him when there's a better replacement. So she played the part of a helpless girl with Holy Sword Alpha and asked him to come closer. He approached her and asked what she wanted. Demon Burial asked him to look into her eyes. Holy Sword Alpha, embarrassed after seeing her too beautiful melon, stumbled over his words and she corrected him. Look into my eyes, not my melons. Holy Sword Alpha apologized and began looking into her eyes. Then, she used her eyes of resentment and asked Holy Sword Alpha to tell her what resentments he had, offering to help him resolve them. After being hypnotized by Demon Burial, Holy Sword Alpha confessed, my resentment? It's all their fault that I lost the meaning of my existence. Taking advantage of his hypnotized state, Demon Burial asked Holy Sword Alpha to give her his body, promising to take care of his troubles. Holy Sword Alpha agreed and gave her control over his body. Once she took control, Demon Burial started laughing, exclaiming, I have the chance to take my revenge again. However, I am really dissatisfied with Holy Sword Alpha's body, saying, this body is too weak currently. Didn't that fool say he's the Holy Sword? Whatever, the resentment of that body weirdly fused with my own, making me even stronger. I learned my lesson last time. This time, I won't fight head-on. Instead, I will avoid that dog that's blocking my path and look for a way to deliver a fatal blow to that heartless person. Meanwhile, back at Leping's house, Sword Saint regained consciousness. Elizabeth, noticing that she had regained consciousness, asked her if she was okay. After seeing Elizabeth, Sword Saint asked her, who are you? Did you save me? Then, noticing her unfamiliar surroundings, she asked, where she is. Elizabeth replied, considering the situation, it's not the time for you to ask questions. She then came closer to Sword Saint and, in a confusing gesture, placed her melon on top of Sword Saint's melon, saying, it was me who was here first. Sword Saint, confused, didn't understand what Elizabeth meant. Elizabeth explained that she would wait right there. If that guy says he wants to do anything with her, she will refuse. Got it. Because everything here belongs to me, including him. Sword Saint still didn't understand but agreed with her, thinking to herself, such a strong aura. Is there such a person on this continent? Or is it because I'm currently injured? She was really curious about the person Elizabeth was talking about, wondering who he could be. Suddenly, Leping entered and announced that the noodles were ready, asking Elizabeth if she was awake. However, he was really shocked to see Elizabeth and Sword Saint in a strange position. After seeing this, he went back and closed the door so as not to disturb them. Moments later in the main hall, Leping said to Sword Saint, "Then so be it. Considering your serious injuries, you should just rest in the room for now." Sword Saint thanked Leping for helping her. Curious, Leping asked Sword Saint why she was injured and wondered if she was attacked by the strong monsters nearby. Sword Saint explained that she was tracking a traitor related to the Dark Guild but underestimated her enemy and was heavily injured. Fortunately, she met them. However, for the sake of the guild's name, she don't reveal her real identity as Sword Saint Guild President. After hearing this, Elizabeth asked her if she was sure it was the Dark Guild, as they seem to have vanished lately. But she thought, why there are so many people from the Dark Guild running around? What has Emilia even done? Elizabeth exclaimed, adding that if she saw her again, she must spank her. Sword Saint explained that she had been tracking the traitor for 3 months and lost contact, so she knew little of recent events. She then introduced herself, saying, "My name is Chichai," and asked about Leping and Elizabeth. Leping, after hearing this, smiled and said, "I forgot the introductions. My name's Leping. Recently, I have been trying to be a hero to destroy the Dark Guild. As for the person next to me, she is Xiaobai. She's my roommate." Sword Saint was really surprised after hearing this. Elizabeth, growing angry, asked Sword Saint if she had something to say. Leping calmed Elizabeth down and explained to Sword Saint, "Xiaobai is very straightforward, but she has a good heart. When you were injured and unconscious, she helped change your clothes and used magic to treat you." Sword Saint was really surprised to hear that Xiaobai had used magic to treat her injuries. She thought to herself, even as a peak 5-star demon ancestor, I can't heal my injuries. Unless it's healing magic at the level of the leader of the elf clan, it's not possible, right?